I, do you want to be pinned, Corey?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Awesome. All right. Well, I get the honor of introducing this beautiful, amazing Corey Michelle. I would love everybody to, whether she can see you or not, let's just give her energetically an applause because this is
Hey.
freaking awesome.
Oh my gosh, it's so here. So
She
here.
is here. This is, well, first, I'm just going to say I've known Corey for over a decade. I was thinking about this, Corey, and it was like, man, I remember taking some classes together with you, and I always admired, how you showed up, when you dove into the questions you asked, and I was like, always drawn to you and your growth. So getting to witness how much you've grown and what you've brought to this world, like I think it's like she's helped like over 3,000 people that she's worked with over 16 years, you guys. So this is not like brand new information. Like this is someone that has lived it, has owned it, has and in the time I've known Corey, she has inspired me day after day, year after year, because of her transparency and what she's willing to step into and bring. So I'm going to say personally, I am so excited for this book that she has written for us, and that this is going to be global. I know that. Like, it's time for this. And I know that Corey's mission is to connect people with their future selves so they can actually bring their 10 out of 10 dreams to life. And I know that she has been instrumental in me creating that for myself. So let's all welcome and let's like celebrate this woman and this book that she has created.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. And it is so cool. Like I never could have imagined just right before 16 years ago, actually my life being the way it is right now, what I've created, who I get to create with. Like I am multiple identities and lifetimes, timelines off shooting from where I was when I was struggling with $150,000 in debt, not knowing at all how I would pay it off, and how my connection with this future self continues to come through. So I'm going to share some of that today. It's also many stories in the book that you guys get to read. I'm so excited for you guys to get your hands on it. So first things first, who's gotten your copy? Who's got your copies? I've already seen a bunch of sales come through. And was it okay? Did you find your way through the bonuses? Did you come back to the bonuses? Did you see the bonuses? And then I know I've already been seeing my PayPal ping with people coming into Breakthrough because I have an extraordinary, like ridiculous offer to come into Breakthrough. So you'll see that when you get the bonus or when you grab your free bonuses. So exciting times. And I really honestly can't believe I'm offering all of this for, I mean, 99 cents. This is like literally once in a lifetime. This isn't going to happen again. So go ahead and grab it. Tell all your friends. And we've got some really special stuff for you guys today. And we've got the link, the bonus. Yeah, the order link is in there. Got it, got it, got it. Ruth's got hers. Faith's got hers. Didn't see the bonuses. Um, you should get an email that's got the bonus links where you're supposed to, because Pia ordered early. You got to go back and do it the way we booked it out because Amazon will not give you the bonuses, unfortunately. So we created a whole funnel so you guys can get those. So I do appreciate the early buys, but you don't get access to the bonuses unless you go back to those links. And the link that Tracy put up here, which is / Amazon, so futureyouactivated.com / activated. I'm sorry, / Amazon. I'm so activated right now. Is the link you'll need to go to grab the bonuses and everything. So, got all the bonuses. All right, got it. Okay, fantastic. Okay, cool. So, what I want to talk about today, we've got a couple of sort of things going in the next 2 hours. Tracy's gonna be our MC. We're gonna have a conversation about bold moves your future self is making to create her 10 out of 10 life. Because you're literally not gonna create 10 out of 10 unless you be bold, unless you make those moves that make you uncomfortable, that frighten you a little, that bring up your resistance. And when you decide to move through it and to be the bold version of you that lives your 10 out of 10 life, no more settling, no more that's okay, no more this is enough, it'll do, I can't be bothered. That's a big saying here in Australia. When I first heard it, I was like, you can't be bothered? Like, ooh, that's like a very like settling energy. I can't be bothered disturbing my life and my comfort to actually go for what I really want. Like, oh, okay. All right. So we are going to, no offense, Aussies. I use it sometimes, but 10 out of 10 life comes from bold moves. Exactly that. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to explore some things that are going on with you guys. And we're going to really want to do today with you guys is activate your bold moves, activate your 10 out of 10, and have you step in to going, okay, well, if my 10 out of 10 life is possible, who do I need to become? Who do I need to become? Who do you need to become? So let's just start with excavating a little bit of um what is your 10 out of 10 life? Like what is something that's been on your vision board, on your goal sheet, in your desire realm for years that hasn't come into your reality yet? Let's get a list. Let's see what you guys are working with. So Tracy, what's it
Can
been
I ask
like?
you a couple
Yeah, let's
questions
I
as
was
they're
gonna ask you a
popping on
question,
in
but
there?
what did you start?
Can I ask you a question, Corey?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's dive in because I'm curious about some of the stuff. Like, I love the behind scenes stuff, and I think we all do. And you're so great at sharing this information. So, I would love to know. Let's just start right at the very beginning. Like, what actually made you decide to write this book, and why now?
Oh, such a good question. Okay, so I had the idea to write a book, and it was a very, very different book 10 years ago. And when I actually came to Australia and changed my life, well, I was coming to have an inspiration that would change my life to live my best life because let me actually backtrack a little bit and I'll just pop this story in here. I got out of in 2015, I was exiting a super toxic for me relationship and some codependent behaviors. And so I had learned that my then ex was doing all the things I was the most afraid of. He was cheating, he was lying, he was taking advantage of me financially and emotionally, like all sorts of stuff, right? Everything like my worst nightmare had come true. And I was miserable, and I was engaged to this man. And I went, okay, this is I can't do this. Obviously, I need to go in a different direction, but I also need to heal this within me. And the question I asked myself was, if I'm living my life for me, if I'm living my best life, then what would I choose? If this 20, well, it was 2016, if because it was the beginning of 2016, I said, if I'm living my best life, what would I choose? And the very first thing that popped was like an extended holiday in Australia. Okay. And I had always wanted to go to Australia. I had been already one time for a couple of weeks for an event, but I wanted to go back. I just have a natural love for Australia. So I said, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do extended holiday. So I started, booking that in. But one of the things that popped up was a book conference of how to become a bestseller. And that was happening in September of 2016. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just plan my trip around that. The event was here in Australia. So I started the whole trip off with that. I had a whole a book idea, everything. I bought their program, right? Their $14,000 program. And then I proceeded to do nothing with it. I mean, I had everything. I had the outline. I had pretty much all the content. I had the book cover. I had everything. And then I literally did nothing. And so it was 3 years ago when I met Dave Thompson, who's actually on the live stream. Hi, Dave. And he has inspirational book writers retreats where you go for 7 days and you just write the fucking thing. You just write it. And so I realized that I actually needed a container, an intentional container to put my energy and focus in because I'm so freaking ADD that like doing like everybody says, oh, write 10 minutes a day. I'm not going to do that. Like that's not going to work for me. So I was like, okay, 7 days. So I went down to the Gold Coast. I got an apartment on the ocean and I started writing the book. Well, again, I didn't do anything with it. I got a lot of it written and I didn't do anything with it. And then so the next retreat writing 7 day with Dave came up and I said, okay, I'm going to do it this time. And so I put myself in there and I was like, okay, this is it. This is it. But what I realized is that that wasn't the book that I wanted to write. That not that I wanted to write, that wanted to come through me, that was the easiest book for me to write. And when I got the hit, it was actually Future You activated. It was like bing, bang, boom, everything came through. And so after 10 years, like pretty much 10 years, knowing that I was meant to write a book, it's finally here. And so I hope that how many of you guys have a book in you? Yeah, Ruth Anna is like, yeah, you have a book in you. I really feel like when we are ready and the idea, when we're ready to like bring it through into permanency, like the legacy, like I was working with this energy last night, like the legacy of a book, it doesn't go away unless it's burned later, like unless there's like burning books or something like that. But like really, the legacy of a book in words goes into the field of consciousness and can't be taken away. And that for me was scary. That for me was very vulnerable, right? And so that's part of why it took so long, but also part of why now I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm stepping into that version of me who's willing to show off my number one process that I help people with, right? And that's what the book is. And many of you guys have done future self activations with me, so that's how it came. It's a long story, but I think that everything connects, right? Like it's like one thing leads you to here, that leads you to here, that leads you to here, and then all of a sudden you have what you wanted.
Was there one thing or anything specifically that just kind of pushed you over the edge? Because we know you've been working with people for about 16 years or more. Was there something that really pushed you over the edge of like, yeah, now, okay, I'm doing this?
Yeah, well, a couple of years ago, I had it was during I think it was 2022, and I was doing my visioning for the year, and I connected in with my future self, like I always do, and I got an image and a whole preview of that timeline, and it was pretty big. And I was out there and I was speaking and I had books and like the whole thing was shown to me. And I said no. I said, no, I don't want to. It was 2022. We were just coming out of COVID. I mean, we'd been locked in Australia for 2 years. And I was like, I don't know that I want to be that vulnerable. I mean, and out there with my stuff, like that seems like a lot of energy. And I had had a lot of knockdowns right before that. So COVID had hit. We got locked in the country. I was taking off. We were doing live events. We were doing 100K months. We were helping a lot of people. We were bringing people into Creation Academy. It was amazing. We were doing really good work. And COVID came, got locked in Australia, totally took that away. I got my Facebook account just totally taken away, which, if you're, on social media and that's like your livelihood. It's not that I didn't have a list. It was like I had people I was talking to and relationships, and it all just got taken away. And then I got a blood clot in my lung like a few weeks after that. And so it was like knockdown, knockdown, knockdown. And then I was healing and recovering and really looking at, what do I want my life to be like? Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it to go big? And so a couple of years ago, it was a year and a half ago now, I had a vision. It was like, okay, well, it's either now or never. I either go and go for it and see what happens, or I don't. And so I started rebuilding my business last year. And then this year was the next phase of really just aligning everything that I'm doing to where I'm going and the energy of my next level future self that is seen, that is visible, that is making a contribution, that is changing lives, that is an inspiration. And I said, okay, I'm just going to say that that's worth it. I'm going to believe, I'm going to buy in. That's going to be worth it. And so that's what made this book come through now. And also, what's interesting, who's into astrology? Anybody into astrology? Holy cow. So, like today, in an hour and 40 minutes from right now, Uranus goes out of Taurus and into Gemini. Apparently, for me personally, and I don't know if it's for you guys too, the last 7 years or 7 or 8 years that this transit's been happening, life's been a little bit harder to create. It's been very healing, very nurturing, setting my priorities. I have higher standards for so much stuff. So a whole bunch of stuff has happened, but creation and going out there and getting bigger has been very hard. Well, that transit shifts in an hour and 40 minutes. And I'm already feeling the energy that I used to have before, which was like big energy, let's go. And I'm like, it's divine, perfect timing with everything. And I 100% believe that we're in those flows, then we can't do it wrong. We can hold ourselves back. We can make it harder than it needs to be. We can avoid really, amazing stuff for ourselves, but we can't really like if we're all in for our lives, you can't do it wrong. So no bold move is going to be a wrong move, you know?
Oh, bam. I
Yeah,
think you nailed that. Well, and we know that writing a book is not just about writing a book. Like, and listening to what you're saying, right? In that. So,
it's not.
who did you actually need to step into and become to finish this book and to have this book out in the world, not just locally, but globally, because this is globally.
Hmm. Where are you guys from? Are you guys post in the chat? Where are you guys, where are you sitting right now on the planet or in the Earth realm? Okay. You just asked me, who did I have to become? Okay. I'm not a reader. Secret's out. I'm not a reader. I don't like reading. I don't like reading books. I listen to books. I don't like reading books. So to become an author who doesn't read books and write a book, that was a massive thing in my world because I didn't have very many reference points of how books were structured. So I had to go, well, I guess I'm just going to be the writer, author that I am. Because I do, my greatest gift is the voice activation and bringing things through and channeling energy, not necessarily through writing a book in a structured way. So I think that was probably the biggest, uh, besides the, being willing to be vulnerable enough to put my work out there like that. Um, yeah.
Oh,
Anybody else
love
like
that.
me? I'm such an audio person. Yeah. All right, we got people from Colorado, Louisiana, Manitoba, Grand Junction, Canada, Vermont. Okay, good. And I'm going to look at, as you're asking me the next question, Tracy, I'm going to look at what everybody's got in there. And if you just jumped on, let us know in the chat what your big vision board item is, what your big goal is that hasn't shown up yet. I
Hmm.
want to see them all. Traveling around Australia. Okay, you got wrote a book and got it self-published and done nothing. Yeah, that's a thing a lot of people do. Just bought the Kindle. Awesome. Suzanne. So excited for you. Thank you so much. Okay, great. Yep, got post the order again. Okay, I'm just looking here. Okay, great. All right. What else we got, Trace?
Well, we know the name of the book is called Future You Activated. But what does that actually mean? And what is the concept that like to you personally? Like I've got to witness, and many of us have witnessed, your brilliance with future self. And this is a whole nother level. So what does this actually mean for you personally?
Yeah, well, for me personally, okay, so tell me if you guys learned to create your futures or create a version of you like this. So I always learned that you create a version of yourself that is not who you are now, that doesn't have the problems or the weaknesses or whatever that you have right now, and you craft the ideal version of yourself, right? So I always learned to do it that way. And I saw myself, and then everybody always asks, well, who do you admire? Like, who would you want to be like? Who's your hero, right? So you're looking outside of yourself. And so as I've been working with my work, over the years, I started to realize that that's all just looking outside of yourself. But you have a future self consciousness. And so if we can activate that connection, and I think activating is like creating that awareness and acknowledgement that there is a version of you who has already done it, who's living that life. There's a version of you who's written the book and had a bestseller. And I say bestseller simply because you're putting the energy and effort out there to have it be seen, right? You are going for your goals and you're becoming the version of you the way you do it. Because every single person, we all have unique ways of being and seeing the world, and our energy signature is totally unique. So activating your future self, I believe, is way more powerful than just crafting an alter ego, because that's not you. That's that you're saying it's an alter ego. You're not connecting to the version of you that's on a different timeline. And that's where it gets really fun, because then we're working with the quantum field, we're shifting reality, we're working with the energetics, and this is where the miracles happen. And I'm way more into the miracles and the magic than like just getting some results that feel empty. Because that's what oftentimes happens is you get the result. Like people say it all the time, like, oh, I got married and then it wasn't all that satisfying. Or I created $1 million and then I was, bored and depressed. It's like, well, the reason is because you did it in an energy through an identity that isn't already fulfilled and satisfied, that isn't already deeply connected, right? So I think that the activating that connection is the first step, because you're acknowledging, hey, I've got a future self that's already done this. Let's tap into that perspective. Yeah,
Yeah,
love
love
that. Miracles
that.
and magic. Michelle's right here. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Kim. Hi, Tina. Hi, everybody. Yeah.
So this is going to be a real vulnerable question. I know it, but would you be willing to share with all of us what was the moment you actually didn't almost do it? Like like what was that moment where you almost didn't do it? And okay, it's a two-part question. And then what made you keep going?
Mhm. Mm. There, about a year and a half, so it was about a year and a half ago that I was really struggling in my business. I could feel, I don't know, tell me if you guys have been in this spot, or maybe you've been going through this in the same freaking, uh, what is it, Uranus and Taurus. Any, okay, let me say this. I felt like there was a next level of my business, but I couldn't seem to access it. No matter what I did, I was like, well, maybe I should go more into business. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do this. And then nothing was catching. And I realized that the uncomfortable, like energy, like when you're sort of shedding your skin and you're going through something, right? It was probably more like a dark night of the soul sort of experience. And I realized that I was really looking outside for answers. I had gotten to the point where I couldn't seem to resolve it inside. So I started looking outside. It's like, well, maybe it's a new avatar. Maybe it's, I need to do this different in my business. And so I spent a lot of money, like having people try to help me figure this out. And what I ended up realizing was that it was actually my own, well, it was actually that I had said no to the vision 2 years before. That's one of the reasons why I was struggling so much, is because I said no. So I said, okay, well, because I had that vision, I said, no, I don't want to do that. I can't be bothered. Give me something else, is what I said. And I said, okay, maybe I'll take that back and I'll say yes. And so I basically told myself and committed my business and everything, said, I'll give it one more year. I'll go all in. Like this is the purpose of my whole entire life is this direction. And that's when everything started to change. And so it was really that moment of trying to get out of it. Anybody else try to get out of what you're supposed to be doing in life? And now that yeah, now that I've really dove in deep in my own astrology and human design and numerology and gene, like all of it, plus my own experience with the messages and downloads and visions that I get, it's I can't deny it anymore. It's actually if I just surrender and let it take me, then I can stop controlling it. Like I can stop trying to and resisting. So you have like the foot on the brake and the foot on the gas at the same time. And that's when everything just went, oh, okay, well, you're going to stop resisting it. Here you go. Here's the book idea. Okay, you need to restructure your whole business. Okay, now you need to let Creation Academy 9-year container go. Okay, now here's the energy of the next thing. You got to align with it. You got to become the version of you who's living your 10 out of 10 life. Oh, shit. Okay, now you got to make bold moves. Okay, it was like ding, ding, ding. Like when I stopped resisting my destiny, basically, is how I see it. When I stopped resisting my destiny, everything started flowing.
Oh, love that. And you make it sound easy, but I know that it's not. Like she's giving you all, like if you think about each part of what she's talking about, of like closing a 9-year container, of what she had, created this beautiful field, readapting her whole bit, like look at each, I think of each piece that you're talking about is like that's a massive identity shift that you were stepping into. Like you were living the book that you are wrote for the world, it sounds like. Really.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Like I had to get so in alignment with what I was teaching for the next vision, not the old vision, not the vision I had in 2020 when we were going to the moon, not the vision, not the lack of vision I had in 2022 when I was like in the hospital, right? Not any of that of going, what's the vision now? Like how can I connect to that now? Because our perspective shifts and we see things differently based on where we're at, right? Because like when I saw that vision in 2022, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But now I'm like, okay, let's go. Right now, I can see how this is so working for me. And that's what I believe 100% is that your purpose on the planet in this lifetime is giving you signals, is giving us all signals all the time. But how are we responding to those signals? How are we responding to those downloads, those messages, those visions, those reflections in our universe to say, are we saying yes? Are we saying no? Are we saying maybe? Are we in? Are we out? Right? Because the biggest, like the highest level destiny for all of us is going to be the ones where we step into our highest level consciousness, right? And our most aligned identity with ourselves, belief in our own self. So,
Oh yeah.
oh,
Well, and
Kim
I've
ordered
heard
a
which
physical book. Oh, call it in. Awesome. Yay!
and that really kind of leads to like you talk a lot about like women, like a woman or anybody choosing to live like their 6 out of 10 life, right? That's not a bad life, like come
No.
on, that's like hey, that's not bad. But I know Cory is not a 6 out of 10 person, just just saying.
Yeah.
So when you actually talk about women living their 6 out of 10 life, when there's like a 10 out of 10 that's completely available to them, like it, you believe it, you're showing us. So when did you actually realize that was the real problem that you were solving for people with this book?
Oh man. Okay, this is so good. When I figured out, because here was my biggest problem in my business was people show up in my world, we have conversations, things get activated. How the hell do you sell that? How do you invite people to that? Like it's literally been the bane of my existence because I kept trying to fit myself into these marketing models that say I solve this problem, whatever. So I kept like going, okay, so what I really am good at is if somebody's settling and they're they realize that they want more, but they aren't having it, then I can find a settling pattern. I can find a belief, I can find a pattern, I can find an unconscious pattern. I can find that and I can help them go, I don't want to actually be here anymore, even though this is good, or it's terrible. If it's terrible too, right? Then let's get from there to there. Because what happens, I'm going to answer this roundabout. Because what happens is when we get comfortable, oftentimes, especially in like spiritual world, we're taught to be grateful. Just be grateful. And you should be grateful. And I'm grateful. It's like I'm grateful for my 6 out of 10 because it's better than when I was at a 2. Because I was at a 2, right? I was at a 3. I was at a 4. Okay. I am grateful. So it's like, oh, I'm relieved. So once you start getting above a 5, you start getting relief from the pain or the struggle. And you go, okay, well, this is good. I'll sit here for a while. It's like I think about it when I climb mountains, right? With Ben. Ben's like a billy goat. He just goes at the top, and I'm like, I gotta go and then stop. And then go and then stop. Right. But when we stop and we go, okay, we're out of the stress. Now we're in a good place. It's really good. We got this far. I'm proud of this. Like, this is great. But it's not where you really want to go. It's just relieved the pressure, relieved the pain. You've taken the painkiller, but you're not healed yet. So then, once you're there for a while, what happens? And tell me if you guys have experienced this. I did. It gets like you go, like, say you get to 5 and you're like, oh, even better, got a 6. Okay, I'm at a 6. This is good. And then after a little while, maybe it's a year, maybe it's a 2 years, maybe it's a 3 years, you've been putting on your vision board or your goal sheet and said, okay, but okay, I want to go for this. It doesn't really happen. Maybe other things are happening, but the big ones aren't happening. Then it starts to get under your skin a little bit. And you're like, why has that been on there for a year? And I didn't seem to pay attention to it. I sort of forgot I put it on there. Who has forgotten? I've forgotten. Uh, I went to um, I was in a mastermind with Kerwin Ray when we first moved here. Ben and I started going. And in the very first mastermind, I was so excited. I'm like, I'm going to put my body first and I'm going to lose some weight and I'm going to get fit and all this stuff. Well, we go 3 months later, the next mastermind, and all these people are getting up on stage. I lost all this weight. I got fit. I increased my muscle mass. I was like, I forgot I had that goal. I forgot. Totally forgot. So I went, okay, I see what I just did there. I didn't put any structure into existence. I didn't tune into my future self. I didn't create habits that would create that. I didn't even pay attention. I forgot it. I didn't even open my notebook again. Well, if I want this goal, I can't be this version of me who forgets. Okay? But I was okay. I was settling, right? I was like, well, it's not that bad. Okay? So anyway, when we start to pay attention in a different way, when we start to um, identify as the version of us who can have our 10 out of 10 or the next level. So if you're at a 4, let's get you to a 5, let's get you to a 6. So we start creating that winning momentum. So where you start believing in yourself even more. But what I was going to say when you hit that 6 level and you're settling, sometimes it seems like, is it really worth it to go to a 10? Because I seem to be okay at a 6. Okay. So that's actually, oh, sorry, I'm getting off a little bit. But when we get there, it starts getting under our skin. And then what starts to happen is if you are really like meant to go to that 10 on that trajectory, things will start falling apart. Life in your reality will start falling apart. And so you have to move. How many of you guys have had that happen? Like when I had the blood clot in my lung, that was a big wake up call to go, wait a second, I got to pay attention in a different way. What I'm doing is not working. What I'm doing is not working. I need to have a different perspective. I need to step into a different version of myself and deal with this and create differently. So we've got to look at beliefs. We've got to look at, hey, well, do you really believe you can have that? Right? When I was looking at, becoming an author, I was like, well, is it really going to be worth people's read? Am I going to get canceled for what I said in here? Are people going to say, ah, future self, that's so stupid. Why wouldn't you just be that version of you now? Well, that's kind of what I'm talking about. right? There's so many things, so many beliefs that come in. Even last week, I sent out a message to a whole bunch of friends and colleagues, and I said, "Hey, I would love for you to support my book." And I was really nervous about sending those messages out. And then a bunch of people didn't reply, and I was like, "Oh, everybody hates me. Oh, everybody, maybe that was too much." And I went, "Whoa, look at that good girl, people pleaser. Don't be a burden." And I got to see it, and I went, "Nah, if they don't want to play, they don't want to play. That's good." So I got to shift it in the moment because every time you raise and you go to your next level, you're going to see some of that old wounding in a different way. And it's your choice in that moment to say, I'm going to believe that voice in my head that says nobody likes me, nobody wants to support me, I don't belong, everybody hates me now. Or I can say, okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep shining my light, and whoever wants to can. And if you don't, that's fine too. A-okay
I
with
think
me.
I think that's inspiring, right? Like just let that land, like everybody, like let that piece that she said of I wrote it down, just when and things will start to fall apart.
Yeah.
And you can stay in that 6 out of 10 and you chose not to. You're like, no, there's something more. I'm stepping into that. So that, like, and I know that you have made many bold moves in your life, but what would you say would be, one of the boldest or a couple of your a bold movement that you've made in your life that actually proves what you're talking about here and in the book work?
Hmm.
That it actually works. Like, where has that been in your world?
Oh, I've made so many bold moves. I have a really high risk profile. I take risks. I have my whole life, and it haven't always worked out, but I take risks. I think one of the well, I say one of the big ones. One of the big ones was actually moving to Australia because I had a great life in San Diego. I miss San Diego. I loved living in San Diego. But when I came back from my epic life-changing trip, I was like, okay, what would it take to be here more? And actually, those bold moves really come from inspiration. They're not like, I think I should do this so I can get this result. They're like, that's not how I function. They're always attached to an energy and an awareness. Okay. Otherwise, you're trying to force and control things. And I think that's where a lot of, especially in business and personal growth, and I did landmark education like all those years ago, which I'm very grateful for being awakened at 22 years old to that kind of conversation. However, there's a lot of force. What do you want? Go for it. Versus what is actually in alignment with your destiny? That's the easier path. If you let go of trying to control it and say yes to where life is trying to take you, then it's a whole different conversation. And so I'm so glad you did. Yeah, me too. Thank you. So when I moved, when I decided to move, actually, I'm so excited you all are here. And this is like, I've got so many things I want to say. It's all coming in all at the same time. But when I first got to Australia or to the Sunshine Coast after my book conference that I went to, I was on the beach of the Mooloolaba beach, which I couldn't even pronounce at the time. And I was standing out there and I was just like, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I was out on the beach and I'm like, I'm in the Sunshine Coast. This is amazing. And I was just standing there receiving it all. And all of a sudden, I started vibrating. My body started vibrating. And I went, okay, well, that's interesting. Okay. And then I heard a voice. It came from the right hand side up here and said, "You're home." I went, oh, okay. All right. So make it super easy for me to get here then. That was my response. Okay. I was that present in the moment with whatever this was happening. I said, yes, I will call this home. Just make it super easy for me to get here. So that day I started chatting with Ben on Tinder because I was looking for somebody to show me around Australia, or at least the Sunshine Coast, while I was there for like 5 weeks. I was there, and then we ended up meeting up a couple of days later, and so Ben and I spent a lot of time together. But when I left, it was October 1st. 1 week after that, no, it was 2 weeks after that, somebody had messaged me and said, "Hey, Cory, I heard you're looking to get a visa to live in Australia." I said, "Yes, let's chat." And so it was a immigration lawyer. So I had a chat with her. She said, "Oh, yeah, you tick all the boxes, you can move." So I sat with that, got off the Zoom with her, and went, "Okay, let's do it. Yes. I already said yes, so let's keep saying yes." So then in 6 weeks, it was so much that happened. I had 5 live events I was doing. I was traveling twice. I had people coming to my house. My mom came for a week. My dad came for a week. Somebody came to live with me for a month to pack everything up and have estate sales. It was crazy, but everything happened for me. And I moved in 6 weeks on Thanksgiving, actually, of 2016. So from that moment that I said in the beginning of 2016 in January, I said, what would make my life spectacular, the best year yet, to having everything line up to where I'm moving to Australia within the year was pretty radical. Getting out of a car lease, getting out of a apartment lease, a home, I was in a home lease, selling everything. Like when you, and oh, and then having Mojo taken care of for a year while I was having put it, I even had somebody take the things I wanted to keep and put them in her house. So she used my furniture for a year and then I shipped it to Australia. Like the biggest miracles happen. The biggest miracles happen when you're following your highest destiny. Because here's what I believe. Yeah, so in alignment, 100%. There's a river that's trying to happen for you. And when you let go of control and resistance, then you can continue to say yes. And when you continue to say yes and no to the people pleasing, no to other people's stuff, no to the lower energies, and really navigate yourself into your highest alignment, then there is destiny for you. And here's how I see it. If you think about it like this, so this over here is like the higher, like 10, let's say a 10, and this is a 0. And this is time. I don't know if I'm going the right way in a like a graph here. This is time. The If you go here, say this is a 5. You make choices that are in alignment, you're going to go up to this is your destiny over here. This is the lower harmonics of the destiny. This is the higher harmonics of the destiny. So this would be your 10 out of 10 life. This would be your 1 out of 10 life. The more choices you're choosing in alignment take you up to the highest destiny possible for you. If you choose against it or stay in resistance, you go to the below 5, like into those timelines. And so there's the lower harmonics are showing you that's awareness. When things aren't working out, those are awarenesses, right? When you go off in a direction, when you say no to your future self to showing you, hey, this is what's available for you. You just asked for to be shown it, and here it is. If you say no to that, you're going to get less than. You're going to get it hard because you're resisting what is meant for you. And when you resist what's meant for you, it's hard. So there's my answer.
You love that. Well, which leads me to another, like, just the overall your met like I love the river happening for you.
Yeah.
So the book itself is a methodology, is that correct? Because I
Mhm.
I I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
You're showing in the book how to hit that river or go swim and play and jump in it. And it might be freaking cold and you want to jump out, but you're actually giving us the tools in there, if you want to call them tools, or another perspective of how to navigate with what's actually coming in.
Yeah.
Is that correct in the book? Give us
Yeah.
a little
This is,
highlight of that if you don't mind.
yeah, yeah, totally. So first of all, you can read it in a day. That's how, like, it's
Mhm.
the process of how to connect with your future self. So in there, you'll get to chapter There it is. Chapter 7, and it'll take you to the future self activation audio. So you'll go to the page, you'll do the audio, and then there's a whole workbook there, and you're going to do the workbook. There's some of the questions in here, but you need the workbook because you're going to want to build out your identity map. Okay. And one of the things the book actually does in the book is because people are like, oh, well, is there really a future self? Is this really real or is it woo woo? So I go through some of the science and the neuroscience and the universal principles that validate all of this. So we get your mind on board, so we clear the pathway so everything can be like, okay, I'm all in for this. Right? It's like removing obstacles. So the big tool is really that you connect with your future self, right? And you say, all right, yeah, my 10 out of 10 is possible. Like I'm saying this is possible. But the real work, Tracy, as we both know, is that it's the embodiment afterwards. So this is just step one, which is why when you guys got the book and you got the bonuses, I'm offering the breakthrough program because that's the place where I can really assist you in bringing everything you just did into your real life. Because I see it over and over and over. People like, how many of you guys have been to like meditation retreats? Like I've been to a couple of Joe Dispenza meditation retreats. I've done healing work. I've done healing sessions. I've meditated, done all the things, done the tapping, like everything. But if you don't bring that energy of what you just opened up into your choices, like into your life, into what you say yes to, what you say no to, and raise your standards and raise your beliefs, your life won't change. And that's what happened to me for 10 years of doing so many different things. I did everything for 10 years. Like I created a network, like a networking group that had 4,000 people. I got invited to everything, every single thing that was available 16 years ago for free. People were giving me sessions. Like I was gifted so much stuff. And nothing really worked until I started engaging with the version of me who already had it. So when I did that, it clicked and I went, "Oh, so if there's a version of me that already has what I want and what I want is actually on my timeline, it's available, then I just have to go to the end, meaning the experience, and start functioning as if it's inevitable. It's done. We're doing it. It's happening. It's already happened. I'm just living it out." So that's
Fabulous.
what the book gives you access to. And then breakthrough is a part of bringing that future self through to put her in the driver's seat. Because you have to do
Mm.
that. If you don't do that part, maybe breakthrough will be my second book. But it's also like, um, you can't read a book and learn to swim. You have to get in the pool and learn to swim. You can't read a book, have somebody tell you how to balance and ride a bike. You got to get in there and do it. And I think that's where so many people are stuck, where we're stuck in, and this is where I was stuck too, is you're like, well, I know what she's saying. She's not saying anything new, but are you doing it? Are you living it? Are you applying it? I wasn't until I did, and it worked. And I went, I'm all in. That was the key. Like I think your future self and learning how to be and connect in and activate and then become and embody your future self is the key to everything you want. It's all there. It's all laid out for you, but you have to learn how to do that. And it's a skill.
Mm. I love that. Yeah, you can't read a book and learn to swim. Bam. That says it right there, right? Like how many times have we read a book and they're an introduction, right? They're bringing something into your field and then that embodiment. So I think that really nailed that.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I've met people too that
mhm,
because like Joe Dispenza, I love Joe. I love his work, and his work has been a big inspiration for my work in tandem. And a lot of people were, doing, coming to because I met a lot of people at the events that I went to, and they would say, "Well, I've been doing the meditations at 4 a.m. every morning, but my life's not any different." And I'm like, well, that's because you're missing the other piece, which is living your life as the version of you that you connected to in the meditation. And literally, people are like, "I've been doing it for a whole year and nothing really has changed." Like, that's the part you're missing. But that's the part a lot of people don't
mhm,
know how to do because it's foreign. How do you
mhm,
live from the end when you don't have any evidence that it can actually happen except your own imagination?
mhm. Yeah, and you're brilliant at seeing those spots and being able to fill that in for people. So I'm excited about reading the book. Anybody else here excited about reading the
Yeah,
book?
I hope you are if you're
Yay! Everybody
here.
got their book. You
Yeah,
got your ebook. I'm getting my ebook and I'm getting my paper copy because yeah, gotta have both. And
I
then when
got
the audio
Tracy's.
comes out, I'll be getting that too.
I got Tracy's copy. Her book launched last week. So
So
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
What do you want people to feel the moment that, like, what do you want that woman to feel like the moment that she finishes that last page? She's opened up to the last page of the book. What would you like her to, feel in that moment?
Well, I don't know that I want to project a feeling that somebody should feel, but I would love for her to be inspired and have a higher level of belief that what she wants is actually possible. And not just possible, but available, available for her. Yeah.
Ooh, bam. And I know I kind of mentioned your mission, but I would love to hear that from you. Like, so you're bringing this book out into the world. Like, what was the like driver behind that for you of wanting to bring this energy, this field into this timeline, into the world for us?
Yeah. So it actually goes back. I was about 25 and in a really crappy relationship. I've had a number of crappy relationships. Um, and I was into drugs at the time and partying and stuff like that. And I was high at 2 o'clock in the morning with my boyfriend at the time and then two of my friends. Uh, and I had one of the visions that I have, and it said, Cory, you're here to leave a legacy. And immediately I saw a movie of my life if I stayed on that trajectory, on that timeline. And I saw another trajectory, which I don't remember much of the details of it, but just that like you can't stay in this one if you want to fulfill your soul mission. And I was like, and I was high, right? I was like, hey, you guys, have you ever felt like you're here to leave a legacy? And they all looked at me like, can pass me more drugs. And I remember that so vividly to where I was like, I am in the wrong place. Wrong place. Wrong place. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Everything wrong. So anyway, I left that relationship 2 weeks later. I ended the friendships and said, I am going to be a different person. I wrote a list of what I wanted. I wrote a list of the kind of person I wanted to date because I was, I was 25, so I still wanted to, date somebody. And within about a month, I was dating a self-made millionaire. I had shifted jobs, like a whole bunch of stuff had happened right after that. And I said, okay, I'm no longer on that timeline because who I saw myself as was scary. So being on I don't remember what your question was, but it leads back to that. What was the question? Oh, my mission. So my mission is to leave a legacy. And it's not always been my like who am I? Who am I to leave a legacy? If I get in my human brain, um who am I to leave a legacy? And if I stop thinking that and I start going, okay, well, what legacy could I leave? Then the book comes out and I go, okay, well, and I'm all in. Like I 100% believe that this is when people start teaching intuition and people are already doing it. The future self concept is not new. It's out there. Um, a lot of people are doing it to create or like recreate or reinvent themselves, which is different than what I'm talking about. I think this is the way of the future. And this is what we are stepping into as telepathic beings, as connected beings, as we want to talk about new earth, all of that. That's where we're going. And I think that this concept will be taught everywhere as base level concepts for creating your life.
Mm, breakthrough right there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and
Uh,
owning that and say and claiming that, like, it's kind of a big claim. That's bold. That is bold.
Another bold move by Cory,
Well,
right
and
there.
I a couple of years
Pull
ago,
that
I
out.
wasn't willing to say that. I was like, well, I do that in my work. I've been doing it for a long time. I know it works. It works for me, but am I really willing to stand on a TED Talk stage and say that? Am I really willing to have my book in airports saying that? What if I'm
Yeah,
wrong?
yeah.
What if I'm
What if
not?
you're wrong? And what if you're right? And yeah. Well, and you've been talking about future self for as long as I've known you. And now the rest of the world is catching that wave and starting to surf it. So we know that she knows her stuff. We know it. Um, I did see there was a question in here.
Yeah. If you guys have any
Robin
questions,
was
please pop them
asking.
in.
Yeah, Robin was asking, is there some of that in the bonuses? I'm not sure what that was in reference to. I caught the question after as you were speaking. So, Robin, was there something specifically that you were asking about?
Yeah, if you want to pop in the specific question, I'll totally answer it for you. And I'll go to the bonuses page too. I
And
included,
remember, if you buy in the next is it the 24 or 48 hours, Corey? Buying from that link is where you access the bonuses.
yeah,
You go
it's going to
to
be the next 48 hours. However, we have a new goal. Did anybody see my post about the bookstore? Okay.
I did. So
I
tell
know.
us about that. What Robin was just being cheeky. Oh, I love that. Don't be sorry. Be cheeky. We're cheeky
Yeah,
people
yeah,
here.
yeah. That's all good. Okay. So every time I've walked, like for years, I did a lot of traveling and I would always walk by the airport bookstores because you have to. And I'd always go, oh, wouldn't it be great if my book was there? It'd be so cool to see my book. Like that would be so surreal. But I didn't have a book, right? So that's not going to happen until I have a book. So it was last week. I was doing some work with ChatGPT and I was like, what would be fun to create images with my book? So I created one on the New York, billboard, whatever that place is called. I made one of on another billboard, and then I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna put it in a airport bookstore." So I did that, and I went, "Ooh, that would be fun." So I just kind of popped it away, and then in the Tall Poppy Academy, I shared it, and I said, "Yeah, I created these images because I do that because then you can viscerally, like, you just created it in reality. So now it's available. So and using AI like that is it's one of my new favorite things. So boom, now I'm having this relationship with this tangible picture, right? Coach Dave says, I did not prompt him. He says, hey, Cory, a couple days ago, Friday, hey, Cory, did you know that once you sell 1,000 books, the airport bookstores start paying attention to you? What? What? 1,000? That's it. I thought it was like New York Times bestsellers, like 10,000. I don't know, however many you have to sell. I was like, oh, I'm not going to go for that. Maybe later. 1,000? We could do that. So that's my goal. I got a full yes. I went, okay, I'm all in for that. That's totally possible, but I need help. I totally need help. So I created this whole thing called 1,000 books in a week. If you want to help, if you want to be a part of this, um, here it is. I'll pop the link in for you. I am going to totally ethically, and Trace and Aaron, if you want to copy that link, um, bribe you to help me. Actually, I'm not bribing you. I'm rewarding you to help me create this vision, bring this vision into reality. And so, um, did we participate when we bought the book tonight? You participated and got the bonuses. So buying the book, you get the bonuses. But if you would like to participate in us going bigger, then actually, let me share this page so you guys can see it with me here. It's called the 1,000 books in a week. And so that's the goal, is to get seen by the airport bookstores. And so uh here's my offer. Okay. You can watch that video later. We want to do it in a week. So this will be updated every day. I don't know how many have been sold yet, because I know we had a few before. But imagine this, seeing this at the airport. Help me make it real. Okay. So that's the vision I just shared with you. So all you need to do is grab your copy, which you've done, and then share it with 10 people. Not just like socials. Socials are great. That's good. But I would love it to be personal connections with people that you think would love to receive this book, and do it in an authentic way, not scammy or anything like that. Like no cold DMs, like nothing you wouldn't want to receive. But if you thought, man, if somebody would have sent me this message, that would be so amazing. So I'm going to reward you. So if you do that, if you contribute, then you're going to get access to a 2-hour live stream called Raise Your Standards, Receive More. And this actually says on here, I love this image so much. Become the millionaire version of you who creates, chooses, and receives at a higher level. Become the millionaire version of you. Because even though I've created over 8 million in revenue, I'm not a millionaire yet. So that's one of my next big, bold, audacious targets. So you'll see all the details here. And then there is a code of integrity. Um, that's the only way that you'll actually receive. Because if you didn't have integrity and you got into this space, it's not gonna be good for you, simply because of your own integrity. So all you have to do is share with 10 people, and then I'm gonna send. Actually, we don't have this form up yet, but then we'll send this out to everybody that's on the list. So you'll get the email with all the details. And then that link will be good, and you'll be able to opt in after you've shared with your 10 people. And then you'll get access to the Receive More. Now, if you can't show up live, the date might change because I'm going to finish that later today. But if you can't show up live, you'll get the recording for it as well. So is that a good offer? Is that a good invitation? Does that make it like so juicy
Yeah.
to go big with us here?
Hmm.
Okay,
Well, and we
awesome.
do have, I have a few other questions, but that brought up a few questions from people, like things like, they bought the book tonight. That does count in the number, yes. Somebody else is wondering, is that physical and Kindle books,
Yeah.
or is
Yeah.
it just the physical? So it's a combination. It can be, okay.
Yeah.
Can you also buy 10 yourself? So
Well,
like I know I'm buying at the price that it's at. It's like this is a no-brainer. I'm buying and handing out as well, right?
oh, I
So
so
that'll
love that.
that'll that'll count.
It,
That'll
they
count.
do count. They all count. I think what I would love is, I think technically either way, I think the spirit of this is sort of a pay it forward. Like let's get this out into the world. So if you want to buy 10 and share 10, that's great. I think that's the spirit of it. So technically, yes, if you buy 10, that's great. And also, um, I'd love to see this in as many hands as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That'd be
Yeah,
my
and I see a few
personal
other
vibe.
questions here.
Yeah.
I think you answered them about where's the bonus page. Somebody couldn't open the link, so that's logistics. So yeah, if somebody has already bought and they didn't buy through the bonus page, what do you recommend that they do?
Oh, just go to thefutureyouactivated.com/Amazon, and you'll go scroll all the way to the bottom. And even there's a thing at the top, a little button at the top that says, got your Amazon number? You need your Amazon order number. You'll fill in the form below, and then you'll get access to the bonuses. And I didn't get all the bonuses done before the launch as I really wanted to. I put way too much on my plate. So I will have them done in 1 week. And so I will be announcing them. So if you're on the bonus list by opting in, you'll get announcements when those are all live for you. And they'll be all live within the week.
Well, honestly, we've got the book and we've got a bunch of bonuses that we're starting with. And Corey, like, gave us so many bonuses. So, like, yeah,
There's a ton in
the
there.
gift
They're
that keeps
good
just
too.
creating.
They're good. Like I put the ones I put in there are like some of the biggest things that people deal with.
Mhm.
Um, let me actually go to that page here so I can read some of them off. We are live. Get your bonus pack. Okay. Oh, wait. Hold on. Did I do that? Bonuses? Oh, I think it's on the top. I think it says see your bonuses here. Where did I do that? There we go. View bonuses. Okay. Here we are. So we have the activation. We have some bonus videos. So I'm including a whole walkthrough of the future self map, like how to create it and how each one of the elements works and how to use the map. Releasing guilt. And then Flow 45, which is a 45-day lock in your future self. Super easy. You do like 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening to lock that version of you in. You get the whole companion workbook where you work through all the different elements. And then I'm including some embodiment tools. So I got to put all that together, some daily practices, playlist, reminders, stuff like that. Then you'll get the future self diagnostic, which is actually really freaking brilliant that I created last week. You're going to go there, you're going to put in your goal, you're going to say what's challenging and why it hasn't shown up. And it's going to give you a whole analysis on who you've been being and who you need to be. Like the version of you that you need to start embodying right away to have that show up. It's so accurate, it's crazy. And then you're also going to get the VIP weekly check-in. That is something I've been using with my VIP clients for years now that helps build your meta consciousness. Do you guys know what your meta consciousness is? No? Okay, you need to know. Your meta consciousness or metacognition, maybe that's the same thing, is when you observe, it's when you observe yourself making choices, when you observe your thinking. So you have you down here, but you observe yourself. So it's that moment where you're like, you take that pause instead of freaking out. It's the moment where you go, I don't think I want that. I want that. And you're moving more into alignment. So doing the weekly check in creates this metacognition or meta consciousness where you can observe yourself because we forget. We go into autopilot. We go, everything just sort of what did you have for breakfast today? I don't know. You can't even remember. When we're doing this weekly check-in, it's specific questions that activate the metacognition so that you start becoming aware of your awareness. It's pretty cool. It's one of the ways we get such dynamic, permanent identity shifts as well.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions before I have a couple of more, and I'm not sure what else Corey had planned in here,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, well, I see Tara's here. She says, observe your thinking or the whole process, which might be highly energetic or physical. When you start observing, you'll observe all of it. You'll observe your nervous system, your energetics. You'll observe where you're putting your energy that's not generative for you, especially if you're in a position where you're below a 5 in your own rating of different areas of your life. You'll start to see where you're going against yourself and where and what your thinking is about it all. Welcome, is it Carrie? Yeah, hi. Excited you're here. Can we please have you holding up your book? Yes, yes, yes. Let's move this out of the way. Yay! Thank you for that. Look at how red I just got. I just got beet red. Uh, oh my God, that's too awesome. I love it.
uh, Robin would like to know, can you talk about how do you do your downloads if that's not too personal?
I don't do downloads, they come to me. So one of and I don't know how it works for everybody. Like I've studied all of that, but some people hear stuff, some people feel stuff. I do have two ways that downloads come into my world for me. One of them is I get visions. And when I started writing this book, I went, oh, my future self. And some people might call this God, people might call it prophecy. I just call it my future self because it's giving me the whole energetic recipe for what's next, what I can pay attention to, what I can focus on next. So I'll get, like I said, I got the voice, I've gotten visions. There's an experience where it's metaphysical, like it's not a normal sort of thing. Well, it's normal for me now, but it's not normal in this reality. Um, I don't try to make them happen necessarily, though when I'm in more of my activated states, I see more. But there's very specific ones that have come into my life um, that are that I just remember. Like, you know how you remember those things differently? It's not just a thought. I'm not trying to do it. They just sort of happen. And then when I'm working with people, I can see the energetics of an identity of like where somebody's at. And then when they start to speak what they want, I can see what's not aligned. And so that's where, when I'm doing my, the identity audits, the alignment audits, or working with people on a deeper level, I can literally see things, and then I can translate that energy into words. So somebody goes, oh, yeah, I get that. Okay, I can actually do something with that. Where usually they're aware of something, but they haven't gotten the full, like if you think about it like a recipe, I can deliver the recipe to them. Yeah. 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 Thanks for asking. Cool.
All right. Well, I mean, we know we're not getting just a book. Cory creates a field as well. She didn't mention this, but I know this about her, so I'm going to call it out. She creates a field as well. So when you're buying the book, regardless, you're tapped into that field that she has created.
Mhm.
So that's also going to be an activation in your world. Plus, you've got all the bonuses that she's got that are going to be in there, the workbook. And I love that there's the identity map. I think that so you're not just talking the talk of like this part and this is the methodology. You're giving actually people a practical start as well to really step into this. And whether you've been in Cory's field before or you're brand new, it's not going to matter. This is going to dial you in because we're always striving for another 10 out of 10 that Cory was talking about, right? So I know just even from the conversation, a lot of us are probably even just being activated, being here, you
Mhm.
know, so, what's the gap between feeling activated and actually integrating that activation into our real life?
That's such a good question. I think it's action, and especially bold action. It's like take the action that a lot of times you've been putting off. It's so much of the time the action, especially when you're just getting the energy moving, it's not new actions. It's the action you've been putting off. You've been denying yourself. It's the thing that you're just like, oh, do I really have to? I'm scared to. I don't know if I want to be seen. People are going to cancel me. I don't know. Whatever the thing is, do that. Put that into motion. Do the first part of it. Put it in your schedule. And not just put it in your schedule, but like do something with it. Engage with it because that shows your field like that it's real. And so you said like I create fields of consciousness. I learned this from Richard Bartlett where he's like everything is a every creation is a morphogenic field and you can create morphogenic fields of anything, right? Any experience. And so this whole book and part of like the circles, all the circles are the morphogenic fields of your identities. And so to move from one morphogenic field of an identity who maybe holds back to another morphogenic field whose identity that says, yes, I'm going for it. They're different structures. They're going back to the recipes, they're different recipes, right? And so when to go into what feels bold, you're going out of one and into another. So there's usually a feeling there. Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes it feels scary. Sometimes you're like your nervous system goes off. Sometimes it's like exciting. Sometimes it feels like jumping out of a plane. Like there's a feeling there because you're shifting fields of consciousness. Yeah. So yeah, that's exciting.
Beautiful answer. Yep.
Awesome. Julie said she just bought the
Um,
book on Amazon in Canada. I don't know where the directions on the bonuses. You need to go to the bonus page. So Tracy, if you could share that with Julie, that would be great. There you go. You just need to go to the bonus page, go to the bottom, and then fill it out, and you'll get access to that. Um, yes, that energetic activation already shifting. Fantastic. Well, I would love to answer any other questions. I would love to look at some of your guys' bold, your 10 out of 10 lives and look at, we can just do some hot seats and look at what bold moves need to come through for you to make that happen. So you can experience yourself in that world. And I do want to say this, like, and this story is in the book too. When I've shared the link with 14 people. Awesome. Thank you, Susan. Susan's coming. Susan's in. Um, okay. When you creating your 10 out of 10 life isn't about having the things, even though it seems like it, right? Everybody says that. It's not about having the things. It's not about the thing. It's about who you become. And when I was sitting with $150,000 of debt that I had no idea how much it was, I went and I added it all up. And I was sitting with that. I was like, whew, all right, well, I can't avoid this anymore. That was nice avoiding that I was doing to create that. I actually have to do something different. I had no idea how I was going to pay it off. I was only making $2,500 a month. So that was going to take a lifetime at that rate. Plus $2,500 a month was not even covering what I needed to live at the time. And I sat with it and I was like, okay, what's possible here? Like what is possible with this? I need another possibility. And I had one of those visions and voices come in that says, oh, that's not hard. You just need to become the version that pays it off. Just become the version that pays it off. And I went, and that's really when I started going all in on the future self, was during that, because that was the first time it was very clear you got to become the version of you that's paid this off. And so my business now, 16 years later, is the result of me becoming the version that paid it off. So it's, I think, yes, having all of these physical things and these experiences are wonderful and I love them very much. And the money and everything, the relationships, it's amazing. But it's really about who you're becoming. I think that's what this whole Earth game is about. It's all about who are you choosing to be and who are you becoming. And who you're becoming is already on your timeline. So you're not becoming anybody new. You're really just letting the old one go to step into the new one or the upgraded one. Maybe it's not fully new. Maybe it's a little bit new, right? And just become the version of you who's already done it. That's it. So I can't wait to play with you guys in Breakthrough. Does anybody need the link for Breakthrough? Like you went through the bonuses and you said no, but you're like, maybe I want to go. I think Ben has a link or Tracy has a link if you want to come and join us. I'll keep it open for $47 for a little while longer, where you can come for the full 2 weeks for $47. And then if you want to upgrade to the VIP, where I'm doing 3 live sessions, it's a total of 197. So it's an additional 147 to that 47. So that's the offer that's on offer. So in 14 days, uh, you can bring your future self and put her in the driver's seat. You'll be more lit up about your life after 2 weeks in that program than you've been in your whole entire life. I guarantee it. And if you're not, ask for your money back. I will totally give it back to you because that's how confident I am in that program. It's amazing.
Well, if you're not, I'm that confident in it. I'm just going to call it out. That it's that if you don't have change, you haven't taken the actions or what Cory has talked about,
Yeah.
that you're not all in.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of, I've done that too, where it's like, oh, I think I'm all in, but not quite all. So,
Yeah, well, I
mhm.
mean, it's like how many times? So Breakthrough is 14 days. It's like a 10-minute or so audio a day to listen to, and there's a little exercise. So it's 20 minutes a day. So all you have to do is give yourself 20 minutes a day. 20 minutes a day, and you'll literally change who you think you are. So you'll take who you activated, you get your map, and then you'll literally change who you think you are. Change morphogenic fields, change identities in 2 weeks. If you listen to those audios and do each one of those exercises, it is literally guaranteed, because the way it's designed is not to teach you more, but to have you access more of yourself. And when you access more of yourself, you start believing it more and you start getting this vibe and you're like, okay, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in. Okay, I'm in. Okay, fuck, I'm in. Yes, I'm all in. Like it builds on itself over those 2 weeks. And I show you in the first, I think 3 or 4 days, who you've been being. And you're going to be like, holy shit, I'm so fucking sick of myself. I have to step in. So doesn't that start for 2 weeks? It starts on the 17th of May. Yes. So within the, it's a 2 week program. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. So you want to break through. Corey talked about having the hundred and being $150,000 in debt. And we started out with, the fact that, so I'm just going to remind people in case they have forgotten that, like, okay, 16 years ago, she was $150,000 in debt. Now we fast forward 16 years later, she has worked with over 3,000 people globally. She's created over 8 million in her business. She's written a book, and she is embodying and choosing to live this 10 out of 10 life herself. But not only that, Corey, is that you're bringing that information, and you are bringing all of that. Oh, that gives me goosebumps. All of that to each of us to live our 10 out of 10, uh, and bring our dreams into life. That is, I just want to say, I'm super grateful.
Yeah. It's so true. And I want to add, like, and I moved countries, and I'm now a citizen of Australia. I have been with Ben for 10 years now. We have an amazing relationship. It's actually better than it, but it just keeps getting better, right? Like we just moved into this house like 6 months ago, 8 months. Was it 8 months ago, I think now? Anyway, a little while, like just last year. I fucking love this house. It's the best house I've ever lived in, right? Like the kookaburras. I don't know if you don't know what kookaburras are. They're these birds that sound like monkeys. They're my favorite birds in Australia. They were going off for like an hour this morning, all morning long, but they don't always because they if you go search kookaburras, it goes. "Burp, burp, 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 burp." They're going off all morning. I was like, okay, this is amazing. I got to bring my dog over. Like life is amazing when you're in your flow and you're acknowledging how amazing you are, how powerful you are, what's available for you, even in the hard times, because this isn't about not having hard times because hard times happen, but we grow in those hard times. We learn things in those hard times. Sometimes we go, oh yeah, like I saw a video the other day that somebody was like, oh, like 2 years ago, I thought I was going to be married and having a baby and having a house and doing all this stuff. And life took me in a different way. And that was really hard. But now that I'm here, I see why all that happened, right? It's always teaching us stuff. It's always giving us stuff. And so the less resistance we can have in going through the hard times, the more we'll actually receive and learn so that we can continue to amplify our own experience in this realm that we call Earth.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Corey mentioned the potential of the hot seat. Do you still want to do the
Yeah.
hot seat?
Yeah.
All
So
right.
let's
So
do
who wants
this.
to be a hot seat?
Yeah. So raise your hand and we can dive in. One of the things I've been doing and like to do is what they're called is little alignment audits. And in that, we'll just look at what do you want to create and what do you want to create, why you think it hasn't happened, and then what's been challenging about it. And then we'll give you some stuff to work with. All right, Tara. So Tracy, I'm going to take you off of here
Yep.
and then I'll put Tara here. Okay. Hi, Tara. Hello. Tara's
Hey, it's
muting
Tara.
everyone. Oh, Tara. Hi, Tara.
Hi.
What's your
Well,
what's your big 10 out of 10 vision?
my 10 out of 10 vision is living on land in like intentional community with other magical beings who, know how to work with the elements and lift stones and, all the stuff
Yeah.
and permaculture and wherever in the world it is that wants to happen. I mean, it's happening all over, but I went all over and I don't know, entering a system that's already, I don't know. Okay, why that hasn't happened yet. I was thinking maybe I have to call in the people. Like I just start handpicking, like, oh, I really like you. I can imagine living with you, and I can imagine living with you. Um, and then um for 2 years, I've been wanting to build a physical rites of passage center somewhere
Mm-hmm.
in the world because
What's
it's
that?
drastically rites of passage, like when you move from being a girl to a woman with your
Oh.
Menses, all the things that have been
Mhm.
celebrated in traditional cultures that are super important landmarks to be witnessed and seen. And I think it's a real cause of separation in our, the Western world. So a
Mhm.
place where indigenous leaders come and reteach those things or reinvent them, but a way to witness all of these milestones that are your identity and as part of the culture. Um, I did very teeny tentative steps on that. And then I wrote a book of Turkish hand gestures. It's now 14 years. And I just thought it would become super famous because it's like it's like a whole part of the culture and the way they communicate that nobody is aware of. I mean, a little bit, but no one had ever documented it.
Cool.
And I imagine like the top comedian, one of the top comedians in Turkey. I always imagine him doing his skits and making them like based on my gestures, which he would know, but they don't realize that not everyone in the world has those same gestures. They're like,
Yeah.
when I'm
Yeah.
angry in America, will I not do that? I'm like, no, nobody will understand you. And so that's one that's so and then I have I want to do a tapping circle online. I did it in a community for free for a year and it was awesome, but I just wanted to like make some money doing it and also have people from wherever all over the world come.
Mhm. Okay, I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
Are you a manifesting generator by chance?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you got to pick one.
I do.
That's your bold move. It's not that you're putting the rest of them off. You're going all in on one. Your energy is too scattered. I'm a manifesting generator too. I know this very, very, very well. You need to pull it back and go all in on one because what happens is when you have too many ideas, I say too many ideas, when you're abundantly flowing with ideas, because it's not a problem that we have ideas. That's the issue is lack of focus. So what's happening is all your energy is going to all these different things and not enough energy and belief and focus can go all in on any one of them.
Right.
So what you need to do is pick one to say, I am all in for this one. And even if you would do the future self activation, I know you said in here you want breakthrough.
I did get those two classes a couple of weeks ago and the 15-minute
Great.
future self. Yeah, so I did those and I was doing
Perfect.
them again today
Perfect.
for this
Perfect.
call.
So I was going to say, activate that version of you and ask which one is the one that if you focus on it, will activate all the other ones.
Oh, that's a great question.
Because what happens is when you have so many ideas and you're like, oh my God, I would love to do them all. Who else has that? My God. All of my ideas, I would love to see all of them in the world at right now. Okay. You can't do that. So we have to pick one and focus. But what you're going to do is you're going to start building the belief that you can do it. Because when we have
Okay.
so many ideas that we're not putting, that none of them are really moving forward and they're all sort of half done, it indicates a couple of energies. One is lack, right? Because we're not giving any one enough, so we're giving it lack. We're giving it not enough, right? But then also we build this belief within ourselves that's going against what we want, which is I don't follow through for what I really want because you're jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, right? So you have a bunch of half finished or partly finished ideas. I know I've got a lot of them as well. So the key though is to go, which one of these can I go all in for that activates all the others, but you don't try to do the other ones. You go all in for finishing one.
Okay.
Okay.
I know which one, even without asking the question, I know which one I can't live without, like for a second longer, which is the land with the people in the community. Like
Great.
living in a box with a triangle on top by myself with like it just no longer I just can't do it. I did not come here for that.
Great.
That's like the that'll be like the cornerstone foundation piece. And then, okay,
Great.
that's very clear.
Yeah.
Cool.
See, there you go.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Is once you start rolling with that and it starts moving, you're like, do the future self activation, do the map with the version of you who's done that, who's living that, and now you're just living it out, then the pieces will start to come together. and you'll get more and more clarity with that. But the biggest thing is you're going to activate the knowing within you that says, I can do this.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. The lack and the I don't have my own back because I'm like over there and over there.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. 100%.
okay.
100%. And
Thank
I
you
know
so
this one
much.
very, very well. You are so welcome. Let's give her a big whoosh. One, two. Awesome. All right. Thank you for that. That was great. That was really great. All right. So I let one of the three projects go and everything took off and it's soaring. Yay, Stacy! I told Stacy the same thing just months ago. Stacy, will you come on and share? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hi, there you are. Hi.
Hello.
Okay, what was that like? Can you tell us your
Um,
experience that's similar to Tara's that we're talking about here?
yes, yes, like lots of visions and they all felt equally strong and I was trying to juggle them all and you said that and I let one go that was super near and dear to my heart. Um but looking back, I now know that that was the right thing to let go and we are now opening our second bagel shop. It's like the space for that showed up perfectly right after I let the other project go. Everything just got easier.
Everything got easier when you focus.
Yeah, when you focus, because
It
then it's like you're seeing so many things about the thing that you do want that you couldn't see before because it's so hard to articulate, but there was this anxiety about keeping everything going. And so it was splitting my focus all over the place and I couldn't see what was right in front of me that was easy to choose.
exactly. You said that brilliantly. It
Thank
was
you.
like it became it's like it became obvious.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
for sure.
100%. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for you. When
Thank
does your
you.
shop open?
Thanks. Hoping May 7th, but we've had a couple of delays, but I'm just taking that as divine timing.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Great work. All right, big moves.
Thanks.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Oh, having ideas. We have so many ideas. I still have so many ideas. Ben gets a little bit frustrated. He's like, "You have so many ideas. You go in so many different directions all the time." I'm like, "That's my superpower." But the skill I had to build was actually choosing and focus. That was not a skill that I was very good at. That's the practice. What if you ever think you're resisting ideas? You want to talk about it, Lisa? Or do you want to talk about it in the chat?
I can talk about it. I couldn't find the raise hand button. I
Oh,
found it
okay.
eventually, but
Yeah, there we go.
yeah,
Good.
like I'm the opposite of Tara. I don't have like a bazillion ideas.
Yeah.
I have almost none. None specific other than who I need to become.
Mhm.
And so maybe that's all I get right now until I actually take action on that, which I am.
So
But there's just,
what's the thing
yeah.
that what is it? Well, we've worked together, but what is it right now that you want? Like, what's your 10 out of 10?
Well, well, for this year, let's just put it for this year, like, because I think the bar is just going to keep going up over time. But for this year, I've declared that it's my last year of bookkeeping.
Aha,
Did that.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did that at the beginning of the year. So, um, I've been working on the like, who do I need to become in order to start something new and step out of the bookkeeping and right. But it's been hard for me because I don't have that vision that like here's where I'm going. I'm noticing I keep getting sucked back into the comfort of the old life. Right? I at least have I don't know where I'm going, but I know it's the last year of bookkeeping. Like that's the only piece of info I have right
Mhm.
now, but it's kind of hard to it'd just be nice to have a picture of something that I'm moving toward. And I wonder, you mentioned like resisting it. And I was like, am I resisting it?
Well, I think you're resisting it by needing to have the answer.
So just, yeah, just go with it. Go with the flow.
So, because when you think you need to have the answer, what's the one energy that you're not being?
Confident or
Well, I was thinking,
trusting.
yeah, I was thinking curious.
Mm. You're probably not curious, and it's probably a it's like it's a pretend curious. You know what I
It's
mean?
like I'm being curious so I can get that motherfucking answer. God damn
Right.
it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
I'm trying to be manipulative, I think.
Well, it's controlling because what you really want is the answer. You want the answer. So when you have the answer, then you'll be confident.
Hmm.
Then you'll trust the path. Then you'll know you can do it.
Got it. Yeah, that helps. It's still putting my confidence in something outside of me.
Yeah.
My, all right.
Yeah. So, a couple of questions that I would ask would be, I invite you to ask, which are, uh, I wonder, I wonder what would be so much fun that I would love to put my energy into to create.
Mm. You know what happens in my body is the energy ramps up so fast that I'm like, ugh. It's it like comes on hard and I'm like, stop.
What if you don't stop it?
I'll have to practice. I don't know.
You might spontaneously combust. I mean,
I
like, what's the
might.
worst thing that's going to happen?
Yeah, I might. And that's not a bad
If
thing
you
necessarily.
if you went out in a spontaneous combustion, oh, I will celebrate that.
Okay, so what's your question again? I wonder.
I wonder what would be so much fun that I can put my energy into to create. So much fun, satisfying, generative.
Yeah, I think it's still like I have to practice like letting that curiosity and that generative, like I'm still in the you got to work hard a little bit programming. So,
Yeah. I also love the question of like what I wonder, hold on, there's a few in there. I wonder what's generative for me.
hmm. Yeah, I have a lot of I know what's not generative. Like might
Right.
be helpful to start there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we stop putting our energy into that stuff. When and I know you, Lisa, know this, but the question that I asked that got me into coaching I wasn't saying I want to be a coach. I never said I wanted to be a coach. I resisted being a coach. I was like, I just want the top level classes. I don't want to be a coach. I just want to know a lot. I want to know how to create and I want to keep doing what I'm doing. Life had a different journey for me because I asked the question, show me what's generative for me. And because I wanted to stop being so exhausted and doing things that were not fulfilling and satisfying. So I asked, what's generative for me? Show me what's generative for me because I wanted to feel it because the generative energy is a feeling in
Mm.
your body. When you do it, you have more energy. You want to find out whatever that is.
Yes, that's okay. So what I'm getting on that is like I just need to tune into the energy of generative. It doesn't have to be related to a career. It's just
No,
in general, what's
yeah,
that feel like?
yeah.
Okay.
So when you, because so how it happened for me, I mean, I was I was so exhausted working like 70 hours a week, but I loved the coaching I was doing and the modality I was working with at the time. And when I asked, show me what's generative for me, I was asking my body to show me because I was bypassing generative because I was working hard. I was giving so much. I was exhausted. Like I was do. I was all up in my head. So I wasn't feeling my body. So it was great access to get into my body. And then when I started feeling the energy, it was when I was coaching because I was coaching friends. I was contributing and facilitating friends. And I went, oh, I have so much energy. I'm so lit up. That feels so good. I want to do more of that. And literally that right there was what shifted me into coaching. I did not want to be a coach. So I didn't project a career. I didn't do any of that. I literally went, I want to do more of what's generative for me. That's my priority. So see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. And I like breaking it into two steps. So like I just need to know what generative feels like
Yeah.
genuinely, and then I can apply it to show me what kind of money making thing would be generative. So
Well,
cool.
I would just say what's generative in general because you can make money doing anything that's generative.
Okay.
I mean, you can ask those questions, see which ones start to create for you because you're a super fast creator. Once you get aligned and get out of your way, things start showing up for you. So, um, what's generative for me? Yeah, show me what's generative. And then you got to pay attention.
Mhm.
You got to pay
Okay.
attention to when you go, oh, I have so much energy and I should be super tired. Or, oh, wow, I did that. I'd love to keep doing that. Because that was one of the other questions is what would you love to do all day long? If you had plenty of money, what would you love to do all day long that you wouldn't really run out of energy for?
Yeah, I've never been able to answer the question.
That would be a
So
great question to explore.
yeah.
And for me, that was, I would love to do this, to coach people, to contribute, to explore possibilities, to have breakthroughs. Like, this is my favorite thing in the entire world. It's the thing that gives me the most energy. Even though I'll be exhausted for the rest of the day, it's this satisfying energy where it's like, ah, yeah. So, yeah,
Okay, cool. I'll play with that.
yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Can't wait to see what shows up. And also, the other thing I would do is potentially look at a shorter timeline because it'll show up by the end of the year. But if you gave it 60 days, for
Yeah,
example, Ben
that works.
was when he was in his old career, he wanted to leave and he kept putting it off, putting it off. And so finally I was like, hey, are you gonna leave or not? Like, what's the deal? He's like, it's not that he wasn't trying, he was dabbling. And I said, okay, you need to set a date. And he said, what? How will I know if that's the right date? Like, maybe I don't find something else. I said, you have to set a date. So he set May 1st to leave his job years and years ago now. And I think it was 2 weeks before that he left. Because you're giving yourself and the field a anchor. So
Yeah.
if you want to
I
do
mean,
end of
I
the
sort of
year,
have
that's fine. But
well, that's like the drop dead deadline.
that's
I'm
when it'll
totally okay
happen.
with happening fasting. So if I move it up a little, then it might happen fast. It's sort of I'm following the awarenesses pretty
Yeah,
good.
I'm
So
just saying there might be a sooner date if you want it to show up quicker.
hmm, okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me contribute. All right. Anybody else want to pop on? All right. Let me see what the questions are here. I love that setting the date. It gives the field an anchor, but it also gives you an anchor so you can't just keep dabbling. Like you're saying, I want the clear awareness now. Yeah. I want to do more of what's generative. It's amazing, that question. For me, it doesn't work the question alone because the mind is the only thing answering. Yeah, you got to feel your body. If everything's going to your head, you've got to build the skill of going into your body, and especially if you're a generator, like that sacral. And so that's the skill. So much of like what I teach is actually skills to access higher levels of your consciousness and your identity. And we just don't have the skill. So if the mind is going, what I recommend typically is a brain dump. So write down everything that you're thinking to get it out of your space so it's no longer in your mind and get into your body. When you get into your body, you can really feel the different energies. All right, do you guys have any more questions? Can I be generative if I am going through a divorce? And yeah, why wouldn't you be able to be generative? How much fun can you have getting a divorce? It's not always fun. I know. My last exit from relationship, um, was very traumatic because I had to face why I chose that relationship. And I had a whole unraveling of my deep unconscious codependence. And it was hard. But I'm here now. And that unraveled for like 6 months. And then I went to Australia and everything changed. All right. Jaya has her hand up. You want to come on?
Oh, yeah, hi. This is a bit scary for me.
Hello, darling.
Ah, hi, everyone.
So
So
what's your 10 out of 10?
choosing life as the first one.
Yeah? What's in the way?
Um, all the legal stuff still going on and investigations with the coroner and the criminal that's still walking free. And that's just really brought everything down. And it's really
Right.
hard.
Do
And
you know, do you know,
I'm also using it as a good excuse as well, not to go forward.
yeah. Do you know why it's bringing you down?
I'm giving them the power. I'm not using my own power to demand that things work better.
Yeah, your focus is on something that you have no control over,
Yeah,
which is like the legal system and his destiny and all that. That's why it brings you down because you don't have any say in that. It's all working its way out of there. But if you do this instead, number one, you're going to feel a lot better, but also uh you'll contribute more to that whole thing. You want to know what that is?
yeah, of course.
You got to pull all your energy out of that back to yourself.
Yeah,
If you want to do it
yeah,
right now, just pull all your energy out everywhere. You
absolutely.
want him to serve his time. You think he's a horrible person because he probably is. Not that you're wrong about those things. You're not, but you got to pull it all back to you because you've
I
given,
just need to add the hospital and the psychiatrists as well,
yeah, all of them.
because it's still ongoing. Yeah, suing them and
Yeah,
litigation. And, yeah,
all of that.
okay.
Pull all the energy back to you because it's like when you've got world stuff going on that you can't control, that is not that is continuing to go sort of around in circles or whatever for years and years. It's
Yeah,
it's you got to look at the question of what is actually my priority here. And so it's very hard to do if your energy, and even going through a divorce can be like this too. It's like fighting him and, all the things. Bring your energy back to you, and you got to get a sense of yourself and say, let's just go to the end where this is over. This is over. This is done.
yeah.
What am I putting my energy into for me?
Hmm.
What am I putting my energy into? What does my life look like? What lights me up? What's generative for me? Okay.
That's what I've had difficulty with for a long time now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of things that I can do, but there's nothing that just lights me up and says, yeah, do that.
Mhm. So that's what there would be to explore. I mean, like, I'm going to keep going until I find it, until I identify it.
Okay.
That's more of the priority than allowing this whole situation to continue to suck my energy dry.
Mm.
Because it's very hard to find that when you're not focusing on it. It's not your priority.
It's all encompassing.
Yeah. So it's like when you take your attention off of that, right?
Mm.
And go, I'm just going to go live my freaking life. And that will handle itself. There might be things for you to
Mm.
do, but that will handle itself.
Yeah.
The thing I like to do, I like to pretend it's all in my hand. If I had something here, it's all in my hand here. I'm going to put all of that in my hands and say, this is all I've been carrying around. Like it's my responsibility. Okay.
Mm.
I'm going to give this to the universe. Universe, can you handle that? Like literally, I don't want to carry this anymore. I can't make judges and psychiatrists and all the I can't I'm not responsible for that. Let them all create their own karma. Can you take this off my plate and handle it for me?
Thank
I
you.
know you're
Yeah.
going to do a way better job than me.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been. It has felt like it's just all on my shoulders and no one else can do it. So to do that, and I have done that to a degree before, but having you remind me about it is really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the whole idea of getting justice for things that have gone wrong is it's extraordinary energy suck.
Mm.
Because what we're not acknowledging is everybody's own destiny that they've created themselves by making those choices. And by
Yeah.
and by holding the perspective, and you can look at anything in the world going on right now with this perspective, by the way, anything, if we're holding the
A
perspective
lot
that
of
they're
it.
wrong and they need to pay,
Yeah. Mm.
right? Then that is going to anchor you into that energy. And then there's a fight. You're in an ongoing battle with that. You're right, they're wrong. You're right, they're wrong. When you let it go and say, may they create the destiny they deserve, I'm not responsible for that, then they will get whatever they deserve, whatever they've created.
A really strong thing that's pushing me is this is my last ditch effort to be a good mother. So
She's gone, Jaya. She's not here anymore. And she's not really gone, we know. She's in her daughter passed a few years ago. You can't make up for who you were before, but what you can do is step into the life that you can live now. Because that brings us down as well, like regrets and thinking that the belief that you didn't do a good enough job when you probably did the best job you could have. So what I would wonder, and this can be applied to anything, is where are you trying to compensate for choices that you made in the past? And what if we let those go and say, you know what? I'm just going to be the best version of me now. How does that land in your world, Jaya? I know it's a tricky situation. You're on mute.
sorry. I realize listening to you talk is that what comes up, and I've been aware of this for a while, is that I don't deserve a decent life anymore. I don't deserve to be happy or feel joy. Um, it's that constant, even ever since childhood, of like, get the whip out.
Mhm.
And so, what would it be like just to have joy?
What would it be like to let the stories that you were ingrained with no longer be the stories you have about yourself?
Yeah, that.
Because what I know about women and men, anybody who pursue more happiness, higher level consciousness for themselves, more freedom, to pursuing their dreams, even having conversations and the work you've done with me in the past, even, is that when you wouldn't, like, you all know people who would never even open a personal growth book, right? Like, y'all know those people. And then there's all the people that are doing work on themselves, right? They're having the inquiry. The ones who have the inquiry, the reason you're pursuing it is because something else is available for you. It's
Mm.
available. It's in your field. Otherwise, you wouldn't care and you would be a miserable woman and not really ever think that joy was even possible. You would just be fine being miserable. But because it's available for you, it comes into your awareness and saying, I don't want to have this anymore. I want something else. That's how we know. It's inevitable. I mean, it's inevitable if you go that direction, but it's available. Otherwise, you wouldn't be thinking about it. Isn't that nice? It's available for you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be even thinking about it. But your big thing for this part of your life is to say, what if I can actually be happy despite the things that have happened in my life?
Yeah.
What if that's now life is for you, not cleaning up the past?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I just wanted to speak on the positive vision is that I would like to have a really beautiful home. And um, when you said how much you love where you're living, it's just like, yeah, I want that. And to be able to have a clinic um, and see people and
Yeah.
start being paid for the gifts. I haven't worked for years.
Yeah. How much fun would that be for you?
Yeah, it'd be great.
How much joy would that bring in your life?
Yeah. So, whoever it was that did that amazing testimonial, like drop one thing and things started working,
Yeah.
that's what I have to drop and allow the other things to start working.
100%.
And it was lovely to hear that. I
Yeah.
loved hearing that.
It's
That
so amazing. It's
testimonial.
so,
Yeah.
we all carry around things that we think we are important that aren't, right? And when we stop carrying those things around, whether they're beliefs, whether they're perspectives, whether there's being right about something or being wrong about something or carrying on someone else's legacy or there's so many different things. Getting justice is one of the biggest ones or which just energy suck. When we just let it go and say, universe, do your job. Just have that happen in the way that it needs to happen. Don't even try to control it and say, I'm pulling my energy out of that. I got to focus on me. Then your life force energy starts to come back.
Okay. Yeah, I need that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your life force energy starts to come back. And whether it's pulling out of like, how your father treated you to what happened in COVID or I don't know, whatever it could possibly be. Pulling our energy out of what's we're dragging us down is one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself. But it activates your alignment because none of those things are in alignment for anybody when it's
From
done
time to
versus.
time, I've done an exercise of pulling my energy back in, but when you say pulling your energy out, that is even more powerful.
Yeah. It's like, I would even do like a whole brain dump and say, where have I decided that this needs to happen so that I get justice, or so that your daughter gets justice, or so they get what's coming to them, right? Like I would look at all the things you've been swirling thinking about and say, okay, I've thought this, I've thought this, I've thought this, and I want this guy to be in jail forever. Like all of that stuff. Just get it out of your energy field so you can see where your energy's been going. And you're going to
Mm,
look at that and go, oh, that's why I feel kind of poopy. Because that's where your energy's been.
absolutely. Yeah.
And then pull it out of all of that, claim it back to yourself and say, that's no longer my priority. You might have to do it a number of times to reprogram yourself, but read the book, do the future self activation, dive into the bonuses that'll all support you. And then if you want to come to breakthrough, you can do that too. And all of that will support everything we just talked about. Because if joy is possible, then you'll be thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So I was really hesitant to be upfront with you about this, and I've been hiding for a while,
Uh-huh.
quite a while, and I really feel like that's changed
Yeah,
from conversation with you and being in this group and all the beautiful hearts and things. So
I love it. I love it.
yeah, thank you.
Woo! You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
I think one of the reasons we hide is because there's shame gets activated. I should be further along. I shouldn't have to deal with this. I know so much. I should be happier. Like whatever brings up that shame, and shame sneaks in there. Shame's not something we think about. It just gets activated. And when we're holding shame, we hide because we
Mm,
don't want people to see it. But what I've realized is that with my own shame, because I was like, I don't have any shame, and then I found some. I was like, oh yeah, that's what that is. Okay. Whoops.
mm,
When you put the light on it and reveal it, it literally can't survive. Shame can only survive in the darkness, the hiding. So when we start to bring it out, especially in
mm,
like contributive environments, then it dissolves. It no longer can exist. So beautiful.
mm.
Beautiful.
Thanks,
Yeah, let's give
Cory.
Jaya a big whoosh. Thank you for coming on. I love it.
Thanks so much.
You are so welcome. I wonder what's going to be available for you now.
Mm.
All right, you guys. We got Pauline. Let me say this real quick. It is 11:04 and Uranus is officially out of Taurus. Ah! Oh my God. We are done. We are fucking done with that shit. Okay, Pauline. Hi, Pauline. So I don't know if you were on before, but give me your 10 out of 10 life. What is it that you want to create that you hasn't been created? And then why do you think that hasn't happened?
Oh God, I don't even know what my 10 out of 10 is anymore, other than what I want right now.
What do you want right now?
Well, it's what I'm resisting, resisting aging, resisting being on the pension, resisting that I don't want to retire, semi-retire maybe, um, and looking at what my next chapter is, like the last chapter of the next 20 years or so till I die.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So all the big dreams and things are like pull right back because I haven't got there yet, and I've done work with you and I've done stuff, and then it manifests and then it doesn't. So I'm sort of in practical space now
Mhm.
of selling, downsizing, having some money in the bank, a couple of hundred if I'm lucky, to retire with a little bit of super in there. So all of that's been swimming around for the last year, and I bought into a 50 plus place on the Sunshine Coast last year
Mhm.
and took up a lot of time, and then they reneged on the deal, which
Oh.
is probably a good thing because I probably wouldn't have liked that particular place. I was settling, and I know that I've been settling a lot on some levels, and I'm in this real in between. Well, maybe I'll go to try and get into FIFO and earn a lot of money, and then I'm like going, well, am I pushing the inevitable away? Because even if I earn a lot of money to pay the mortgage off and get someone in my spare room, at the end of the day, I'm just going to be left with a house and no money in the bank for retiring. So am I pushing that, just delaying the process? And so I've sort of started not really looking, but just being aware of the feeds on Facebook about properties and in that same sort
Mhm.
of scenario. And what really was bizarre was I spotted one on the Gold Coast, and I was like, "Oh fuck the Gold Coast, ew!"
I
But
love the Gold Coast.
something in me sort of created some excitement about, well, maybe it's not a bad thing. You're at the age where I'm still got enough vitality to go out and meet new people, and maybe it would restart the business, because I hate networking up here because same old people, boring as shit.
Yeah.
Go out to the Gold Coast, meet new people, network, all of those things, and do that while I've still got youth and vitality, even though the age is different. But, and there's something in that just really sparked me. And then I've gone back into, oh, fuck, I don't know. But it was really there. And I've been in resistance with your call the whole morning. Fucking Cory, I don't want to be on Cory's call. I'm not sitting here for 2 hours. So the first little bit, I've been pottering in the kitchen listening. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll come over now. I mean, I bought your book and that. I've done that. As soon as the thing came through.
Resistance
100%.
comes through in the funniest ways. We like are like,
Yeah, right. Cory, I'm not spending $47 on your bonuses, and I've just freaking signed up for that. Like,
welcome to your breakthrough.
and I thought, you know what? Just give it this last shot, it's another crack, to see if that's going to help me get off this fucking frozen stuck place that I've been in for really a long time. You know, the relationship's like way over there, because it's like right now my immediate thing is I need to find my place for the next 20 years, which sounds a bit freaky and scary, but if I buy into one of those places, that's where I'm going to be.
Yeah.
So
here's, I totally get it. So you're in a whole big life shift. And then there's also some of the, oh, I should be further along and I've done all the things and all that sort of stuff. But you've got, you said 20 years to go all in on the best 20 years of your life.
quite true, yeah.
20, 30, 10, could be 2 weeks. I mean, any of us could have 10 seconds left, right? We don't know.
Yeah.
Well, none of us know. But if you say, hey, I'm going to have the best 20 years of my life, and however many of those I live, great. Okay, cool. So what if you went in and said you to yourself, like, okay, no matter what's happened before now, I am going to live the best years of my life. No matter what, no matter where I have to go, no matter where I meet, whatever I am inspired to create or participate with. Like we were talking about with Lisa, it's like her thing was I need to find the thing before I can, be happy or whatever. I need to have the career. Instead, go for, well, what's generative for me? I love that question. Like, okay, show me where is generative for me to live. Where will be a contribution to me long term?
Yeah, because I sort of have chunked down what I want as I age. I want community. I want to be near an airport. I don't want to be moving up to Agnes Waters because, you know what I mean? It's too far. I want to be around civilization, shops and things, and people, because I'm a people person. I don't want to be
right.
lonely old woman with a cat. So sort of like narrow that sort of stuff down. Yeah, and even with my fitness, like that, I still go to the gym, but I might only get there 2 or 3 times a week. And that's my passion, my health and fitness. I've had a lot of health stuff going on. And I've always been, I want to get my fitness back. I want to get my fitness back. And it's like, oh, I've got no energy. I'm tired. And something shifted yesterday at the gym. I went, fucking stop with this story and pivot and just fucking push through my language and just fucking push through it.
Yeah.
So I was on the treadmill and I'm like, I'm going to run. Freaking haven't run for I don't know how long. So I did. So I just jumped on. I was going to do like an intervals, and I ran a whole minute and stopped for 15 seconds. I went, oh, that wasn't so bad. I'll run another minute, and then stopped, and then walked and pushed the level up. And then I went back and did intervals. And so today I was like, I'm going to do a HIIT session. I went, no, just keep pushing this one. And today I was really tired because I got up at 6, and I went, I wasn't going to do it. And I went, nah, come on, you got to do it. It's all in the mindset, And so I pushed it, and I did 3 minutes running, and it nearly killed me, but I did it,
Well, you're not dead. You're here.
That building, but it's just, I've been stuck. There's no denying it. I've been 100% stuck.
Moving your body is a great way to get unstuck. So that's amazing. Yeah. But like, what really, the thing for you, it's 11:11 a.m. right now, is say, what would it be like to live the best years of my life? Where can I put myself? Where can I be on the planet? Who can I surround myself with? And allow that to unfold. And then just start to, well, really notice the old stories and be like, no, I'm not buying into that. I'm having my 10 out of 10 life. So show me what I can choose and actively choose that. And whatever that is will start showing up. It always does. If you start saying no to the stories, to the lower energy, and continue to say yes and follow through with that action, just like you did with the workout, follow through with those actions that match what you're saying yes to.
Yeah.
100%.
And I also know it's about listening to the awareness. I got so freaking excited about the Gold Coast. I'm like, in my head, I'm going, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love the Sunny Coast. I've been here 23 years. You know, I love it. But it's like, I feel like I'm done on some levels.
I would pay
So I'm
attention to
questioning.
that.
I
What
know,
did you,
I know.
what if you went down just for a weekend?
Well, that's what I'm thinking of doing. Maybe
I would do
take 4
that.
days and go down and just suss out the areas where I've seen those and go and see some of those places that I've seen on Facebook. Yeah, thinking
I
about
love the
doing
Gold
that.
Coast. It's one of my favorite places. Everybody said, the Gold Coast is terrible when I was up on the sunny coast. I'm like, I love it. There's a vibe. There's a palpable, for me personally, there's a palpable vibe down there.
That's what I feel like I'm being drawn to that. And am I, you know, and it's like, oh, probably my guys down there as well.
Who knows what'll be available for you?
Awarenesses are coming in, but I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, just
gotta
have
get
it.
out.
Allow yourself to have it. I think
Yeah,
that's a big thing, right? Like we go, oh, I can't because, and what about this, and old thoughts and beliefs. Just allow yourself to have it. See what happens. Awesome. Thanks for your question. Big
okay.
wishes to you. Changing lives here. People are changing their lives. I love it. Whew. All right, you guys, we are going to complete this live stream. Thank you so much. If you would like to participate in Breakthrough, I will also send another email out if you did not upgrade and you would like to. We'll send an email with a link out if you didn't get that. Also, if you didn't get your bonuses, we'll send the email out to that. It's futureyouactivated.com/Amazon. And then if you would like to play in our 1,000 books in a week challenge, I will send the email with the correct website out probably in a couple of hours here. So you can just start sharing so that when you get the email that we send, then you can just fill in your information and you'll be on the list. Just make sure you send them to the links that we send out, which is the futureyouactivated.com/Amazon. Do not send them to Amazon directly because then they won't have access to the bonuses. They won't even know the bonuses exist. So send them to our link, please, so that they can access those as well. All right. I want to thank you all so much. Thank you, Tracy, for being our MC today. Thank you to Ben for his dedicated work this week and making this all possible. And I want to say thank you to Dave Thompson and his team for helping make this all possible, and everybody else that's on that not Creation Academy, but in our business team, and Aaron for being on this morning. So and thank you all for being a part of this and showing up in ways that you contribute that you won't ever even know. All right. Big wishes to all of you. Thank you so much. And I wonder what's going to be possible and available and so much fun living your 10 out of 10 lives. All right. Bye, guys.
Cory, can
Yeah.
we all give you a whoosh
Oh,
toward
yes. I
your
always forget about that.
$1,000, like thousand? Let's give Cory a great big whoosh.
Yes, please.
To Cory's book.
Oh, I got
Reaching
whole
all those
chills.
hands. And just to note, somebody messaged me and said that if you don't have Kindle, and that's what holds somebody back from buying the Kindle version, you can actually just Google it and you can actually still be able to read it. So don't allow that to hold you back. There's a possibility you don't have to have a Kindle account. You can still go and buy and read it. All you got to do is Google it.
Okay, good. Googled how to read a Kindle without a Kindle.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And if you have any other issues, just email us. Our emails everywhere, and we'll try to help you out. Thank you so much.
And this recording is going to be on your YouTube channel, correct?
Yeah, we're going to put it on YouTube.
All right.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Talk to you later. Bye, you guys.